You are welcome to my another class of environmental biology. In this session, we are going to discuss biotic factor, which is an important ecological factor. Entities live in an assemblage of populations, having at least two different species which are in constant interaction with each other, either directly or indirectly within a specific geographical region in an ecological community. The interaction between species forms the basis for any biological processes in ecosystems such as food chain and nutrient cycle. The nature of these interactions depend upon the environmental conditions and evolutionary aspects in which they exist. There are several classifications of these interactions which are found in different ecosystems. These interactions can be used as a framework in analyzing the ecological community to describe processes that naturally occur, which in turn can be used to predict human modifications that may affect the properties and processes of ecosystems. These interactions can be interspecific, that is, interactions within different species, or intraspecific, that means interactions between same species. Now, contents of this video. What are biotic factors? Then positive interactions. Under positive interactions, we are going to discuss mutualism, commensalism, negative interactions, which includes predation, parasitism, competition, and amensalism. What are biotic factors? The interactions among living organisms such as plants and animals are called biotic factors, which may cause marked effects upon vegetation. The effects may be direct and indirect and modifies the environment. The plants mostly which lives together in a community and influence one another. Similarly, animals in association with the plants also affect the plant life in one or several ways. The different interactions among them can be classified into following two types. That is, they are positive interactions and negative interactions. This is the summary of interactions in a tabular form. Type of interactions, then combination, effects, along with examples. Here the plus means benefited, minus is harm, 0 represents unaffected. Under first, that is the positive interactions, mutualism, here plus interaction, where both the species are benefited. Lichen and mycorrhiza are the examples. In commensalism, one species is benefited and the other species is neither benefited nor harmed. So here it is plus and 0 interaction. Examples are orchids, lianas. Under negative interactions, predation. Here one species is benefited, the other species are harmed. And here the interaction is plus and minus. Examples are Drosera, Nepenthes. Parasitism. One species is benefited, the other species are harmed. Here also plus and minus type of interaction. Examples are Cuscuta, Duranta, Viscum, etc. Competition, where it is harmful for both the partners. Hence, the interaction is minus interaction. Grassland species are the examples which compete for space food, fodder, reproduction, etc. Amensalism, minus zero interaction. It is harmful for one partner, but the other species are unaffected. Examples: Penicillium and Staphylococcus. Then positive interactions. When one or both the participating species are benefited, then it is called as a positive interaction. The first one is mutualism. It is an interaction between two species of organisms in which both are benefited from the obligate association. The nitrogen fixation, that is Rhizobium bacterium, forms nodules in the roots of leguminous plants and lives symbiotically. The rhizobium obtains food from the leguminous plant and in turn fixes the atmospheric nitrogen into nitrate, making it available to the host plant. The other examples of mutualism are: lichen is a mutual association of alga and a fungus. Wasp present in the fruits of fig is another beautiful example. Then Anabina in corallite roots of cycas. And lastly, nostoc found in thyroid plant body of Anthoceros. So similarly, roots of terrestrial plants and fungal hyphae, that is the mycorrhiza. Then water funds, that is the azolla and nitrogen fixing Anabina. Second one is commensalism. It is an interaction between two organisms in which one is benefited and the other is neither benefited nor harmed. The species that derives benefit, it is called as the commensal, while the other species is called as the host. The example is the epiphytes. The epiphyte higher fung plants, that is the orchids, gets its nutrients and water from the atmosphere with the help of their hygroscopic roots, which contain special type of spongy tissue, that is velamen. So it prepares its own food and does not depend on the host. They use the host plant only to support and does not harm it in any way. The other examples of epiphytes are lianas, then lichens, then the ferns. Now, negative interactions. When one of the interacting species is benefited and the other is harmed, it is called as negative interaction. The first example is predation. It is an interaction between two species, one of which captures, kills, and eats up the other. The species which is kills is called as a predator, and the species which is killed is called as a prey. The predator is benefited while the prey is harmed. Examples: plants like Drosera, that is sundew, Nepenthes, that is the pitcher plant, and Venus flytrap, Utricularia, and others. These are the predators which consume insects and other small animals for their food as a source of nitrogen. They are also called as insectivorous plants. Parasitism. It is an interaction between two different species in which smaller partner, that is the parasite, obtains food from larger partner, that is the host. The parasitic species is benefited while the host species are harmed. Based on the host-parasite relationship, parasitism is classified into two main types, that is holoparasite, also called as total parasite, hemiparasites, also called as partial parasites. Holoparasites, that is total parasites. These are the organisms which are dependent upon the host plants for their entire nutrition, and they are also called as total parasites. The example is Cuscuta. Cuscuta is a total stem parasite of the host plants like Acacia, Duranta, and also on many other plants. It even gets flower inducing hormone from its host plant. It secretes its food materials from the host plant through the hostoria. Total root parasites found in higher plants. One is Rafflesia, Balanophora. Now partial parasites or the hemiparasites. These organisms which derive only water and minerals from their host plant while synthesizing their own food by photosynthesis. And these are called hemiparasites. They are also called as partial parasites. The examples are Viscum, Loranthus, Centellum album, that is sandalwood. The parasitic plants produce hostorial roots inside the host plant to absorb nutrients from the vascular tissues of the host plant. Competition. It is an interaction between two organisms or species in which both organisms or species are harmed. Competition is severest in population that has irregular distribution. The competition is classified into two types, that is intraspecific and interspecific. Intraspecific competition, it is an interaction between individuals of same species. This competition is very severe because all the members of the species have similar requirements of food, habitat, pollination, etc. And they also have similar adaptations to fulfill their needs. Interspecific competition. It is an interaction between individuals of different species. Different species of herbivores competing for fodder, food, forage, plants, etc. The trees, shrubs and herbs in a forest struggle for sunlight and water as well as nutrients. The competition among insects for pollination and dispersal of fruits and seeds. These are the examples of interspecific competition. Now, Amensalism. It is an interspecific interaction in which one species is inhibited while the other species is neither benefited nor harmed. Amensalism is also called as antibiosis. The inhibition is achieved by the secretion of certain chemicals called allelopathic substances. Penicillium notatum produces a penicillin to inhibit the growth of variety of bacteria, especially Staphylococcus. Trichoderma inhibits the growth of fungus Aspergillus. The roots of black walnut, that is Jacqueline nigra, secretes an alkaloid which inhibits the growth of seedlings of other plants. Thank you.